So decide where your starting place is. I came to sit down and um, when I sit on a cushion to tilt my pelvis forward because of my lower back issues. And then I put the two blocks underneath my knees. You know, sitting up or lying down to start. Um, and and consider just this little meditation, which is the one that we always do, is to breathe gratitude through the heart. And I keep coming back to that because it's so researched and it's so powerful. And so you can, and again, you can study it. And there's a lot of information out there on why that is the meditation that is, you know, worldwide and practiced all the time. You know, there's thousands of meditations and you can find them. And meditation, you know, I'm always studying more about the practice of meditation and what it does for us. So I go back to the beginning and you know, study it again, because it will expand your understanding even more. I'm working with a lot of things right now, and I'm working with, you know, what do I need to do to remain joyful and really to live every part of my life in joyfulness, and recognize when I have the times that are a little more sad or a little bit of emptiness, that it's really what I want to experience is the joyful moments. So breathe gratitude through the heart. Notice where you place your hands. The mudras are always important. You can have your palms face down or up. You can put the pointer and thumb together for mental clarity. With the fingers up, it's for clarity, and with the fingers down, it's for calmness in the brain. And there's, again, there's thousands of mudras. So any finger you might be called to touch might be, is definitely a mudra. And you can look them up too. There's just so much information. We're in the information age. You can find out anything. So breathe, relax, feel, witness yourself in this moment, and allow. What I know about us doing this on Monday mornings, has for me, it's a great new beginning. It's the new beginning of what we call the week, Monday through Sunday, and all the different things that happen during the week. So let this be this new beginning that you take into your week. And just consider this little practice. It's what are the most important questions? You know, these are ones that came in through something, I can't remember what organization I got them from, but number one is, what do I want to experience? And it could be considering I want to experience joy in every moment. I want to experience joyful thoughts. Gratitude usually brings us to joy, so maybe gratefulness. Maybe, and then you go to what is love, and okay, love, peace, joy. That's what I want to experience. You know, how do I want to grow? Do I have skills to master? Are there ideas I need to embody? What is the inner evolution of what's going on for me? You know, so contemplative questions. And then third, how do I want to contribute to my family, to my community, to the planet, to a cause? And from the sharing we've done, you've shared a lot of different ways that you are working with one of those aspects of contribution: family, community, planet, cause. And so I want to hold all that in my heart, of all the things you've already said you're doing. And some of the most profound things that we've talked about. And one of them, I'd like to honor all the people at the UU Church with Donaby that are working towards, oh, that community must be so tight, because working towards putting those solar panels on and getting the money for that, and then coming together for wonderful causes and togetherness and understanding of each other, acceptance, all the things that happen at the Unitarian Universalist churches. I've always experienced that. So I'd like to hold that church in our consciousness and heart, and then spread it out to all the other churches that are doing the same thing. It really brings people together in peace. So these three things, what do I want to experience? How do I want to grow? What do I want to contribute? Are not a to-do list. They're sort of a soul alignment ritual. There's kind of, how do I align my soul? And knowing that we have acknowledged this soul star chakra right above our head. Then exploring that word, which is, it has an evolution to it. And I'll send you these questions, and you can write your answers, or draw your answers, or paint your answers, or dance your answers. So breathe, relax, feel, witness yourself, allow. Take a moment to acknowledge and say, what do I need right now from this practice? And could I integrate, these practices? What do I want to experience in this practice? How do I want to grow in this practice that we're doing, this yoga? How do I want to contribute? Contribute to what? Myself, to my household, to the space, blessings for the space that you're in. Honoring that you've taken the time out to do this practice. Then bring the fingertips together and the thumbs to the heart. We're activating the first 7 chakras, if this is the first 5. And when you do this and you spread your fingers apart, and I'm showing you on the camera a little bit, but that you make the flower of life within your hands. And then these triangles are just something to marvel at, because the triangles are such a strong force in the universe. And if you look at the flower of life, which I hope you all have kind of looked that up, I'll try to send you a photo of that. And you look at it and you go, oh, that's who I truly am. So we're trying to train our brain from what we think we are as these physical bodies to something that's much more complex than that, and is light, and is actually a geometric form. And you're shining, and your light is multidimensional and interdisciplinary and multisensory. Then bring the thumbs to the third eye. Imagination, inspiration, intuition, and integration here at the third eye, which are the new sensory perceptions. The Waldorf education always had 12. And then they added imagination, inspiration, intuition. And then integration was added. So they've got 15 sensory perceptions. Well, actually, yeah, 12 and 4, 16. 16. So I'm really awed by Waldorf education and their evolution. Then tap the top of the head and open to the 12 chakras. The 12 chakras, one is below where you're lying down or seated into the earth, 6 to 8 feet, and the others are above your head. And they're stars because we are moving from a carbon-based body to a crystalline-based body. And even if you don't know what that means, it's a shift in human consciousness, and will eventually be a shift in our bodies itself during evolution. Soul, star chakra, universal chakra, galactic chakra, and the divine, bringing it all together. Then hands it to the heart. Namaste for yourself, again, honoring that you took the time out to do this practice. And a thank you from me that you're here, and the relationship that we've built over these years, since the major change that changed everything, which was COVID. And then let that go. And then see where you're sitting and see if you, and when we start the movement practice, keep working with, what do I want to experience? How do I want to grow? And part of the growth is knowing exactly what you need when you're in a yoga practice. And you can do yoga on a chair, on a bed, on a recliner. You see, I have that table back there. I now teach a class here in my studio, and I have a big, large Brima mat on one side of the room, and that table, because I have two people that can't get all the way down to the floor, or they need extra cushioning. And then there's chairs. Place the hands behind you. So if you're lying down, come up to seated and drop the knees side to side. We'll come back down to the floor in a minute. But if you're, I just wanted to move the pelvis to understand this part of the body that can get quite complicated because of how, between having the weight of the body on the pelvis and the legs, and the mystery of how we walk and stand up, and the tailbone and the sacrum, and then the connection of that sacrum to the pelvis, and that the pelvis can get kind of weak as we get older. It's harder to recreate the bone strength in the pelvis than it is in the legs and the arms. So all part of the great mystery. So just walk back and forth for a moment. Then with that sitting up, somehow straighten out the legs and point and flex the toes. You can start yoga any way you want. So consider that well, I'll see you next week, but the week after, on the 29th. It's the New Year's week. And then see if this works for you, to bring one foot in and the knee, prop up the knee or not, and reach up for the heads and come down, or have a strap here and put it, if you've got a strap, it's nice to just bring one to your mat all the time and use it to stretch the leg. First, stretch the leg. And it's a flat back, so you can't just put your hands on the floor or on the leg, and you're reaching kind of with your chin, but you're not folding down and looking at your knee. You're reaching and stretching the back of the leg. Lots of ways to do this. So if you're on a bed, you can always do, leg stretch series. You're all trained on leg stretching in all different ways. Seems to be one of the most important things to do, though, is to stretch out the legs. Then reach up on that side, bring the other side. So lengthen out, mine's the right leg, you can, whatever leg you didn't do. Consider this here. Now, some people, when they are sitting here, this type of place, then they need a cushion or a blanket or something to go right underneath their sacrum. So you're also, maybe we haven't worked with this in a long time, and I forgot to tell you that in the beginning, but you can always use a cushion to help tilt the pelvis forward a little bit, especially if you have anything within the spine or scoliosis at all, even just a mild scoliosis, then it will become harder to sit like this. So then pull or reach, or hands to the floor or hands on the leg. Wow. Now, as we're going through this, consider all the different things that, as we get older, seem to be health issues, you might say, and consider this statement from one of my Ayurvedic doctors. He's actually in India. We get the good health from our mind because our mind can create the medicine in the body. So the joyful mind, the sparkling mind, the non-worried mind, the happy mind. All of that will create a lot of the biochemistry that we are really looking for. And then back up. So positive thinking, basically. Then I take that out and then come down to the floor, or to the recliner or the bed, and just notice if the legs feel any different. You may or may not notice. Lengthen the legs out and lengthen the arms above your head. Stretch from the heels of the hands to the heels of the feet and hold your breath. Oh, and just stretch and yawn, and anything you need to release there, and then just release it. Use the sound, when you have and you use the sound, just like when you're singing, it's all good for the vagus nerve. We're doing a lot that is vagus nerve oriented in the yoga class. Then bring the feet flat to the floor, and I always want to do a little bit of core strengthening. You can do it just by pressing the lower back into the floor and squeezing at the pelvic floor. And releasing. And you inhale and push it into the lower floor. Exhale, blow it out. Those of you who want to start with that, but then lift the head, little tiny shoulder lifts. And exhale as you come up. You don't go up very far. The feet are on the floor. Now, to go a little further, you bring the feet off the floor, bend the knees, or you lengthen out the legs. Each one is a little bit harder on the body. Squeeze at the pelvic floor, lower back is flat into the floor, and exhale as you come up. Slow and steady at your own pace. Some of you will be faster and others will be slower. Doesn't count, it matters more that you're feeling something than it does how many repetitions you do. And then hold, either pressing your back into the floor and just squeezing at the pelvic floor, or lifting the head up and holding there, squeezing at the pelvic floor. And just feel what's going on, where you're feeling it. Then pull the knees in, take a deep breath in. Let it out with a sigh. Release any tension there. It's also good for the vagus nerve to do that with the sigh. Roll the knees in a circle, massaging the lower back. Massaging that sacral area. It's really interesting because it's really from the word sacred. So I always think, yeah, it's the sacred. It's the point of expansion, that sacral area. And then the other direction with the roll, noticing how it feels, noticing that area and what you know about it. Then pull the knees in, open the legs wide. Stretch the inner thighs. You can hold the hands here to give you some support. Flex the feet. This is the reclined frog. Your head can be on a cushion, or lift the head if you want. Squeeze at the pelvic floor. Still, we're working the inner thighs. You can let go. You're working the inner thighs on your own without holding with your hands. And this is the full reclined frog. Feet go up a little bit, right angle. I know some of you can do this and some of you won't be able to do this. You just decide what level do you do. Hands can always hold the head up. Take a breath or two, see how the breath works here. And then bring yourself down, pull the knees in. Feet flat on the floor, drop the knees side to side. And then back to center. Hands behind your head or not, you're going to do cross crawl on the floor. One hand, the other hand, you can just lift one knee and tap it with the other hand. Your hands can come behind your head. Try to bring the elbow up to the knee, each side. Exhale on each side. The exhale will give you that abdominal understanding. So you can blow it out. And then you can bring the feet off the floor, do the same thing. It's a little harder on the legs. You can lengthen one leg out and lower it or not lower it. These are all the same posture, different ways to do it for different bodies. Exhale as you go side to side. Then hold one side wherever you are with that. Remember to do cross crawl every day in some form or another. Hold it on the other side. And then back to center. Pull the knees in. Lengthen the legs out. Reach the arms above your head. Oh, ah, ah. And then roll over to your side and bring yourself up to mermaid position. So mermaid position, again, for some people, if you're on the floor, then you need to, put that cushion, underneath the sacrum so that you can stay here. For some people, the knee is bad, with one knee or the other, and you have to decide, I have to sit a different way. On the recliner, I wish I had one to practice on. So Dar, you can tell me how this is one day. And but what we really want to do is a spinal twist, and you can sit in a chair. You can hop off the recliner, or you can do the spinal twist as you've learned to do. We're going to bring that arm around and swing it around, getting the kind of spine like really warmed up here. The other hand, if the wrist hurts, use your fist. Otherwise, just hand down on the floor, and you're kind of warming up that spine to be twisted. And breath. So inhale. You decide how the breath should be, and then hold the posture. So holding the posture, coming around and looking over your shoulder, seeing what is that doing and how does it work? Can I get tall here? As tall as my spine will go. What's happening in the hip? What's happening in the leg? Is it okay to bend my knee, or just my knee needs to be straight? You're working with everything that you have and adapting to your specific, particular, and beautiful, amazing, and perfect order body. And as you look around, use the eyes, a little bit of EMDR as that look to one side, look to the other, look to the other side, back and forth, keeping the head in one direction, feeling that exercising out the eyes, and then back to center. What I want to do now, for those of you on the floor, is I want to show you something we don't do very often, just to give you something new. And that is, a hand is on the floor. Some people have to use a push-up bar here and come up. Now, this won't work so well on the recliner, I don't think, but you want to come to the side. However, you do a side bend. So it's and then those of you on the floor, just another one we haven't done in a long time, hard to fit much in the hour. And so every week I like to introduce something if I can. And you come down and up. Again, you can actually do this. If your knee is bad, you can do this with the leg out and you're coming up here, if the body will allow you to do that. For everything, since we haven't done this one, this is a test. And then hold, and I'll ask you about this to find out what happened for you. And then down. So not very long, but we're just gonna, work with this. Then again, loosen the pelvis. So side to side. Then on to the other side. And swing around. I just got sunshine. It's like we're having showers, passing showers with wind. I think it's a new atmospheric river coming in. And swing around and find out. Sometimes I get a little chiropractic adjustment when I do this, holding with my spine. And then, come around and decide. Stay around, looking over that shoulder. I'm on my left shoulder. Keep the eyes open and do the EMDR. Look to one side, look to the other, look to one side. We're changing the body. We're changing ourselves. What do I want to experience? How do I want to grow? Then hold for a moment And just feel the stretch. I didn't go around, but I was using my arm. I forgot. Then going around. And then coming back, and instead of coming back down all the way, I'm going to show you another thing. You can be on your elbow and also do this. And you can come up and elbow, but you can also come up and hand. So you can come up, and you can't really get up that far unless you come up to your hand. And again, some people use something for their wrists. See, I haven't done this in a while. And on the recliner on in the chair, you just do a side stretch. And then those of us doing this one, hold for a moment. Hold and breathe and hold and breathe. Looking under that arm, seeing if the arm doesn't like to go up very far, knowing if you have a shoulder that's going to hurt, or if it feels good for the shoulder, your hand can always be on your waist. So you have to make those observations for yourself of like, what's really good for me. The same thing happens on the knees here. In our age group, it's the knees and the shoulders, very common. And then there's the ankles. Then onto hands and knees. And again, push-up bars or not, and cat-cow. And again, you can be seated on a chair and you can do cat-cow on the chair. Some people have to move to the edge of the chair, depending on what kind of chair you have. Inhale one direction. And exhale the other. And then hold. So holding one direction. And just remember that you're light. Try to understand that if you were light and you went in front of a concave mirror or a concave or convex lens or whatever, that your light would shine in different ways out of this body that's almost like that. It works like a lens. So convex and concave. Light and sound are related. They're all, vibration. It's all vibration. So they're both measured the same. And then coming back and holding the opposite direction. Good for your arms here too. Then to continue with the arms a little bit, rolling in a circle. And again, if you're on a chair, then come down and come up, so fold over and come up. It's like going back into child's posture, which is where you're on the chair, you would fold down and then bringing yourself back up. Don't forget the breath. Change directions. Now, if you have knees that give you trouble, you might consider cushions under the knees or a little bit of cushioning, extra cushioning. I find it really works. A knee replacement, I don't think anyone here, I'm not sure. You'll have to tell me if you have a knee replacement, I can't remember. Then come to center, tuck the toes behind you and decide if you can get up this way. And then you're going to come up in downward dog. If you can't, or you want to do downward dog on standing, just stand up and put your hands on a chair or a wall or a table and just stretch the backs of the legs. One leg at a time, take a breath. Then both legs, but you may not come down on the heels, so bend the knees to see how do I get a nice feeling in my lower back and my arms and come back on both legs. Then see if you can straighten them out. You're just kind of testing. You're always evaluating the body. And then walk forward, hang over in your elbows on your knees, hands on your knees, elbows on your knees, or seated in a chair, or all the way down, ragdoll, for those of you who want to go down to there. Then bend the knees, know that you're going to be standing, press into the feet and come up, open the arms up. This helps with the dizziness. If you're dizzy, the third finger in the belly button, third finger in the back, and then and third eye, I mean, and then down to the heart. It is hard to get everything in for all the different people doing different things on different surfaces, chairs, tables, recliners. I can imagine all of them. The recliner is a little harder just because of the. I'm not sure. Every recliner kind is kind of different. All right, here we are. Standing. Shake it out. Let's see. I think I can do this a little bit. And shake it out. Oh, as much as you need to shake everything out. Shake, 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 shake. Okay. And just see how that did as you go heel to toe. So we slow it down a little bit. Heel to toe, heel to toe. Hands at the heart. Different than hands down. And then up onto your toes, see if you can balance. Focus, attention, concentration. But watch out for ankles. If you've got an ankle that's strained, this can strain it more. So hold on to a wall or a chair and don't stand up, don't do this as long as I'm doing it. Just do it a little bits of time. And then come back down and shake it out. Now you can either have that chair here all the time and hold on to it when you need to. If you don't need to hold on to it, fabulous. And you could have a wall too, or even your kitchen counter or a couch. It's really amazing. See if you can bring the toe to the ankle here and be stable, or hold on to something. Notice that you're using some muscles of the leg in a different way. You can feel it almost down to the knee area. You just see how it feels. Now you can have your hands anywhere. Hands at the heart. This is the tree. You can have hands above the head. Now that's the gentlest tree. Then shake out the leg. Those of you who want to get into that left leg, see if it's going to work for you. Put your hand on a chair if it doesn't work, and see if you want to put it up. See if you can get the balance. Focus, attention, concentration on a spot, not moving. Then decide, do I want to put my hands on my hips? What are my branches going to do? Breathe, relax, feel, practice. And then down on that side, shake out the legs. Over on the other side, really get into that foot, toe on the floor, hands at the heart. Now we've been doing this one for a long time. This is the easiest one to have so many modifications. So you just, work with it. Do you want to have your foot above the ankle or on the floor? Some of you already know what you want to do. Otherwise you're practicing. Today might be different than the last time you did this. Then hold on if you need to. Find the heart, find the strength. Squeeze at the pelvic floor. It's going to give you a little bit that core strength. You want to use that core, and hands wherever they end up going. If my hands were on my toes on the floor, my hands go above my head, a lot easier. Otherwise, it's a little harder when I bring my foot up, and you're deciding for yourself. Breathe, relax, feel, witness yourself, and allow in every posture, everywhere you're going. That little line of words is really helpful. Then shake it out. Shake out the buttocks really well. It really takes a lot to stand on that one foot right into the glute. And when we come back down, I'm going to do a little bit of that glute strengthening. So then from here, just to get some things in we haven't done in a long time, is inhale up, arms come up, and exhale and ride the wave. Okay, so this is the awkward pose or the chair pose. It translates, it's Utkatasana, they're all in Sanskrit. And you can have your hands on your waist, at your heart, out front, or above your head. So you're working with that. You're also working with strengthening the muscles, the quads a little bit by going and doing a squat. So you decide which one you want. This one, so I like to say we're riding the waves, because you're the ocean and everything else is the waves. And your hands can go to the heart. Now, when we take this to a spinal twist, we're going to bring the right shoulder, the right elbow to the side. First, gentle is just turn. Just look. Now, if you can't stand like this and sit on a chair, sit on the edge of a chair. And then the next place to go is here, elbow on the knee. It's on my left elbow is on my right knee. And then the final place is to go here, and the arm is above my head, or have a block there that brings myself up a little bit. So you have to make the modifications to, to see what's right for you. And then back, up on that side, and center yourself again. Then down. Remember, you can be in a lot of different ways when you're here. And you could hold this if you want, it's just a holding posture. Or you can take it into a spinal twist, right elbow now to the left. And you can just, you just look that side. I'll come forward now. Or you can place the elbow on the knee. Or you can place the hand at the floor and the arm up or on your waist or on your heart. And you can also lift yourself up a little bit with a block if that works for you. And you turn your head as best you can to look up. Just don't hurt yourself. You don't want to have a sore neck later. So you want to look straight ahead. And then back to center. Press into the feet. Notice what's happening in the quads and come up. And then shake it all out. Okay. Let's see, sun salutation. See, we've done the dancing warrior a lot. So let's do half sun salutation and then see if we can do the full sun salutation. I walked off the screen to get so that I can show you, how to do that with the chair. So first half sun salutation, and you're just going to remember it. So really great for the breath and the spine and just moving the body. So inhale, hands down and up and back. All in one inhale, exhale down. All in an exhale, full exhale. Inhale, straight legs, flat back, look up. So it's a flat back and you're looking up. Exhale down. Inhale up and back and to your heart. A nice flow for the body. It's like dance. So hands at the heart, inhale down and up and back. Swan dive down, bend the knees. Inhale, straight legs, flat back, look up. Exhale down. Inhale up and back into your heart. Okay, I'm going to show you how to add something in. But if you just want to do that, then see if you have memorized it. So here we go. Inhale down and up and back. Swan dive down, bend the knees. Inhale, straight legs, flat back, look up. Exhale, hands to a chair or the floor and step the right foot back in a lunge. So that's where you get this lunge in. You might have a couch, you might have a wall. And you might be down on the floor here instead of on the chair. Because from here, you're going to take the other foot and bring it back. Make sure your chair is stable. It can be up against a wall. And your both hands can be on the floor, so you're in a full lunge. Notice what you need for that core strength. Then bring the knees down, fold back. You can do that on a chair. You can sit on a chair. And then up into upward dog, you can do that on the floor. Upward dog. Or you do that on the chair. You just come up to the knees to work with that, or you're up here and you're working with it here. So lots of ways to use that chair. And then just step forward so we can review that again. So that whole series, the sun salutation, it gets your whole body. You can watch lots of YouTubes on it, and I'll try to make a YouTube just for that eventually. But I like to practice with the chair. Now, if the camera was someplace else, I'd put it up against the wall just to make sure. But it seems to be pretty stable here with the feet of it on my mat. Actually, probably even more stable. If I put all the feet on my mat. Yeah. So we're gonna do that one more time. I'm gonna do it on the chair just because it's interesting for me to do it on the chair and to see how to talk you through it. So inhale down and up and back. Exhale, swan dive down, bend the knees. Straight legs, inhale, flat back, look up. Exhale down. Hands on the chair and step the left foot backwards. Starting a lunge here. Step the right foot back to meet it. You're on a plank. Right? Then down to the knees and back. If it works for you. And then up and into upward dog, either here, hands on the floor, or from downward dog, upward dog, and you're here. Go downward dog, upward dog, downward dog, upward dog. Notice the strength you need. Easy to build. It's a workout. Then step the right foot forward and you're in a lunge. Step both feet together. Bend the knees, straight legs, flat back, look up. Then inhale up, back, and to the heart. So we do a little bit to connect the first part of the sun salutation to the second. So that's a strong practice. The sun salutation, when you get down on the floor, and when you come back up and you do all the pieces to it. And there's lots of different methods out there to teach it. So you can find simpler methods or more complex methods. Then shake it out. Oh, take a deep breath in. I know. I always go like this to make it longer. I go, okay. Oh, hands to the heart. We'll do one more. And okay, so we did the balance and we did that, and it's 10 minutes. And let me try to tune in for a moment. With breath of joy, because it totally goes with this kind of practice this morning. The words I said, like, how do you live daily, moment by moment, in joy? How do you make it sparkle? And it's interesting to practice that way. It's a practice. When you see yourself like doing that roller coaster of up and down, or sadness, or irritation, or anxiousness, or whatever it is, to be able to bring yourself out of that and go, let me just go find a piece of chocolate. Chocolate's always good for me. So that kind of thing. You go, how can I turn it around? And then you can help other people do that too. Okay, so breath of joy, you know it already, so. At your own pace. Such a good breath practice. Last time. And hook up. So always go to that hookup, because you don't know. You could try it without a hookup, but this is a stabilizing energy medicine technique. And even if you go out there in the world and you go, oh, the world's spinning too fast, I don't know what to do with my electronics. Hook up. So I have to, with the electronics changing so fast, I have to walk away. I have to do a little breathing. I might go make myself a cup of tea. I might have a piece of chocolate, and then I come back to deal with learning the new things on the computer. I don't want to get lost with it. Okay, so coming back down. You can always use a chair to come back down. But you can always just play with how do you come down super consciously with the breath and the spine, and recognizing I am, I have this body that this soul lives in. So if I'm going to expand my soul, then I need to keep this body strong. So drop the chin to the chest and just feel the neck and shoulders. Feel the heaviness as you find a little bit of the curve of the upper body. Keep breathing yourself down. A breath for each little bit you go down, vertebra by vertebra. Heavy arms, heavy head, heavy. And when you get down to the floor, pause for a moment in ragdoll. If you need the grippets, so then get the grippets. If you need a chair, then have your hands on a chair. Or if you're going back to this recliner or bed, go there. I like to come here, walk myself back a little bit, and then down to my knees, back into child, if it works for you. Then I push the blocks away and come to my elbows, lengthening out my legs into Sphinx. Now we do a lot from this position because it's nice to be on the front surface of the body too. So we want to see if we can get to all the parts of the body. And in an hour you really can't, but we do as best we can. So then you can look straight, and you can also do a little twisting of the spine in this position where you look over your shoulders. And if this doesn't work for you in the chair, you can do, a spinal twist, or if you're on a bed or the recliner, see how you deal with the front surface of the body. And actually, I'm curious, so I'll ask you today. And then come all the way down, and cerebral spinal fluid balancer, you can do this on your back or your front. And still, knowing that that's cerebral spinal fluid, if you haven't studied it, again, it's another one to study. I just can't send you all the things I want you to learn. And the cerebral spinal fluid is so profound in what they've learned about it and how it holds your whole life story. So if you want to get rid of some of the trauma in even in your birthing, it's cerebral spinal fluid balance. And then bring yourself down all the way. And today, just turn your head to the side and place the hands by your sides with the palms face up. And just notice the pressure on the face. Maybe you have a cushion, maybe not. Maybe you have a blanket. And just feel all the parts of the body that touch the floor and all the parts of the body that don't. Take a couple breaths here. It's just a really interesting experience. On the floor or on a bed, it's a little softer. Very few of us, but there are people that sleep on their stomachs. So they're more used to this prone position. Notice where your toes, my feet naturally have the big toes come together and the feet kind of out in an angle, making a triangle at my feet. See what happens for you. Then from here, we're going to come over onto our back. So you just press into a hand and roll over onto your back. Then feel the back body. If you can, do the cerebral spinal fluid on the back body, which is just pushing off from the feet and letting the body rock. When in doubt, do the front and back surface of the cerebral spinal fluid piece, and you might find more balance. Everyone's unique. Then I know it's towards the end of the class, but I want to get a little bit of glute strengthening in. So we're going to come up into a bridge. If you're too tired by now, or you really want to break, take a block and put your block right there underneath the sacrum. If not, hold yourself up and maybe do a few strengthenings of in, down, and up. Inhale up. You can add the arms if you want. We do this usually at the beginning of a class, but now at the end, just to get this in, to strengthen and feel. You want to mostly feel the glutes. So press into the feet, squeeze the pelvic floor, feel how you're working those glutes, and then lower, and then up, and feel them, and then lower. You know, so just do it a couple times. Just to, what you're doing in yoga often is you're reminding the muscles of how it is for them to work hard and how it is for them to relax. You're kind of, it's a training. And then once you come up, hold being up there, and then see, come to the toes and notice the change in what goes on in the buttocks, in the gluteus maximus, medius, and how it might work. And just feel that strengthening. You're also going to feel, you know, some of the legs do their thing too. And it might not be possible for you to do this. Just allow whatever is there for you. You can imagine it. You can imagine these things, and then your brain doesn't know you're not doing them. So it's kind of interesting. Then come back to flat feet and bring yourself down. Rock the knees side to side, releasing the two sides of the buttocks. And then I've often done the final posture as the reclined goddess, and you can certainly go there, but I want to show you this one. If you've got the block, still just to bring the legs up, this is an inverted posture. It is shoulder stand. This is the modified shoulder stand with a block. You can modify just with your hands if you don't have a block, but you can do it with a cushion. But you put your fists underneath your buttocks there, a little higher up to the joint, and then your legs stay up there. It's integrative to turn yourself upside down somehow. Now, those of you that have it within you, you can roll yourself up and hold the pelvis, and here you are holding yourself up in the full shoulder stand, and it's even more full coming further onto the shoulders, which I can't do anymore. I actually haven't been able to do this very well or for very long, but I can still do it a little bit, so I like to go up every once in a while. And then bringing the knees in, carefully coming back down if you went all the way up. Just to experience it, see what you can and cannot do. And then come to a resting position. So resting for me right now is going to be constructive rest, knees together, feet wide apart, hands down by my sides. You can also go to Shavasana. That for me would be putting a cushion under my knees and just lengthening out the legs. You can sit in a chair and be in Shavasana. Just relax as best you can. And in your mind's eye, and in the mind, do a little body scan of relaxation. You can also consider taking the light out of the room if your room is bright by putting something over your eyes. But do a little body scan and start that relaxation process of relaxing the soles of the feet and the toes. Even if you can't feel them relax, if you think relaxation, it's going to happen. Your brain is really powerful that way. So breathe relaxation into the feet, soles of the feet and the toes, and then up to the ankles, up through the ankles and all the complexities of how the foot and the ankle hold you up. Then up through the back of the leg and the front of the leg, and the bones that are within there, the shin bones and the quad bones. Just feel that sacroiliac joint there with a gentle rub of relaxing of the sacroiliac joint as you go up further into the rest of the spine, one vertebra at a time. Imagine relaxing each vertebra. Just imagine relaxing into the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, the cervical spine, everything relaxed. Then coming back to the ribs, relaxing the ribs and the inner organs. Imagining, just to make the imagination work for you. Imagine the organs one at a time, relaxing, relaxing. Your breath is really super relaxed, just gentle, comfortable, effortless breath. And up to the shoulders, and the shoulder girdle, very complex area. Relaxing all that you know about that area that connects the upper body and works with the shoulders and the arms, down to the elbows, down to the forearm, the upper arm, the elbow, and the fingers and the hands. Relaxing all of that, relaxing the fingers, letting them be heavy, relaxing the hands. Moving back up the arm as you're relaxing all of the arm. And we come to the scapula, and then moving up into the head. Coming and relaxing the facial muscles. Open the mouth as though a grain of rice can sit between the teeth. Relax the cheeks. Relax the forehead. Relax the temples. Keep relaxing the face, knowing that there are quite a few muscles in the face. I think it's 45, it might be 46. And just relaxing the ears, the forehead again, the hair. Some people can actually feel their hair and feel the weight of the hair by relaxing, consciously relaxing the follicles. Just see if that's you. Be relaxed. What do I want to experience? How do I want to grow? How do I want to contribute? What are you working with? What are you moving towards? What are you bringing forth? What are you working with? What are you moving towards? What are you bringing forth? Bring your hands together at the heart. Universal prayer position. Peace, shalom, salam, pak shanti, pache mir, malavia, freedom, hamsam. May we all have peace. May what we do here go out into the world and make more peace. And then just staying right where you are, deciding how long you really want to just stay here. You can stay here for a long time. Because of this working as it does, we're going to roll over to my side and rest there in fetal posture. Just feel it. Feel gravity. Feel your connection to the earth. Then bringing myself up into mermaid position, taking a moment to honor all of the creatures, the plants and the animals and the arachnids and all the different beings that live in the ocean. We are one. So many different, incredible beings on this planet. Then up to hands and knees. Honor all the four-leggeds. All the different kinds of animals, to the two-leggeds, all the birds and the humans, and then standing, finding your balance again in the standing position. Seeing what you need right now, and coming back to the computer when you're ready.